The arrival. The night sky over rural Japan erupted in a dazzling display of light, momentarily turning darkness into day. Residents of the small town of Hikari rushed from their homes, eyes wide with a mixture of awe and fear as they witnessed what could only be described as a cosmic event. A massive object, sleek and otherworldly, descended from the heavens, its surface shimmering with an ethereal glow that defied explanation. In the courtyard of an ancient dojo nestled in the nearby mountains, Master Hiroshi Chen stood motionless, his weathered face illuminated by the otherworldly light. At 82 years old, Chen had seen much in his lifetime, but nothing could have prepared him for this moment. His steel-gray eyes, sharp despite his age, tracked the object's descent with a calm that belied the gravity of the situation. "Master," a voice called out from behind him. Chen turned to see Akira, his most promising student, approaching with quick strides. "What is happening?" Chen's lips curved into a small smile, a gesture that seemed out of place given the circumstances. "It appears, my young friend, that we are no longer alone in the universe." As if to punctuate his words, the alien craft touched down in a nearby clearing, its landing sending tremors through the ground that Chen could feel even from this distance. The light emanating from the ship dimmed, plunging the area back into the soft glow of moonlight. "Should we not alert the authorities?" Akira asked, his hand instinctively moving to the hilt of the katana at his side. Chen shook his head slowly. "No, Akira. I suspect that if our visitors meant us harm, we would already know it. Let us wait and see what unfolds." For several tense minutes, nothing happened. The ship sat silently in the clearing, its smooth surface reflecting the moonlight like a mirror. Then, with a hiss that carried even to the dojo, a section of the craft's hull slid open, revealing a ramp that extended to the ground. From the depths of the ship emerged a figure that, at first glance, appeared human. But as it descended the ramp, the differences became apparent. The being stood nearly 7 feet tall, its body a seamless blend of organic matter and advanced technology. Its skin, where visible, had a metallic sheen, and intricate patterns of light pulsed beneath its surface. Most striking, however, was the creature's attire. It wore armor that seemed to draw inspiration from the samurai of old, yet it was clearly of alien design. At its hip hung a weapon that resembled a katana, but was unlike any sword Chen had ever seen. The alien warrior surveyed its surroundings, its gaze eventually settling on the dojo in the distance. With purposeful strides, it began to make its way toward Chen and Akira. "Master," Akira whispered, his voice tight with tension. "What should we do?" Chen placed a calming hand on his student's shoulder. "We will greet our visitor with the respect due to any warrior who has traveled so far. But remain vigilant, Akira. The path ahead is uncertain." As the alien approached, Chen could see its eyes, 3 of them, arranged in a triangle on its face. They glowed with an inner light, focusing intently on the old master as it drew near. When it stood before them, the alien warrior bowed deeply, a gesture that surprised both Chen and Akira. Then it spoke, its voice a harmonious blend of tones that seemed to resonate within their minds rather than their ears. "Greetings, warriors of Earth," the alien said. "I am Zardik, emissary of the Galactic Confederation. I come seeking the greatest warrior your world has to offer." Chen stepped forward, his posture straight despite his advanced years. "I am Master Hiroshi Chen. May I ask the purpose of your search?" Zardik of the Galactic Confederation. Zardik's eyes pulsed with increased intensity. "Your world stands on the brink of a great change, Master Chen. The Confederation has long watched your species, waiting for the moment when you would be ready to join the greater galactic community. That time has come, but there are those among us who question whether humanity is worthy." The alien warrior's hand moved to the hilt of its strange sword. "I have been sent to test your greatest champion in combat. The outcome of our duel will determine humanity's fate." Akira stepped forward, his face a mask of determination. "Then I will face you, alien. I am the strongest fighter in this dojo, and I will prove humanity's worth." But Chen held up a hand, stopping his student. "No, Akira. This challenge is not for you." The old master turned back to Zarek, a glint of something, perhaps amusement, perhaps defiance, in his eyes. "I will accept your challenge, emissary of the stars." Zarek tilted its head, the lights beneath its skin flickering in what might have been surprise. "You, elder? Surely there are younger, stronger warriors to face me." Chen smiled, the expression transforming his face into a map of wrinkles and laugh lines. "Age is no measure of strength, Zarek. In my many years, I have learned that true power comes not from the body alone, but from the unity of mind, body, and spirit. If you wish to test humanity's worth, then let it be through me." For a long moment, Zarek stood motionless, its alien features unreadable. Then it nodded. "Very well, Master Chen. I accept your offer. We shall duel at dawn, 2 cycles of your planet's rotation from now. The location shall be of your choosing." Chen nodded in agreement. "There is an ancient temple atop Mount Hikari. It is a place of great spiritual significance, where the veil between worlds is said to be thin. We shall meet there." Zarek bowed once more. "Until dawn, then, Master Chen. May your preparation be thorough, for the fate of your species rests upon the outcome of our contest." With that, the alien warrior turned and strode back toward its ship, leaving Chen and Akira standing in the courtyard, the weight of what had just transpired settling heavily upon them. As the alien craft's ramp retracted and its hull sealed seamlessly, Shen turned to his student. "Akira, gather the others. We have much to do and little time." Akira hesitated, his eyes darting between his master and the departing ship. "Master, are you certain about this? Surely there are younger, stronger fighters who could face this alien." Chen's expression softened as he looked at his student. "Akira, what I'm about to tell you may be difficult to believe, but it is the truth. In my youth, I wasn't just a martial artist. I was part of a secret order tasked with protecting humanity from threats beyond our understanding. This isn't the first time I've encountered beings from other worlds." Akira's eyes widened in disbelief. "But how is that possible? Why have you never spoken of this before?" "Because, my student, some truths are too heavy for the unprepared mind," Chen replied, his voice tinged with both wisdom and regret. "But now, it seems, the time for secrets has passed. Go, gather the others. I will explain everything." As Akira hurried off to summon the rest of the dojo's students, Chen turned his gaze back to the stars. The night sky, which had always been a source of wonder and inspiration, now seemed to hold a new weight of possibility and danger. In the hours that followed, the dojo buzzed with activity. Students of all ages gathered in the main hall, their faces a mixture of excitement, fear, and disbelief as Master Chen recounted tales of his past encounters with extraterrestrial beings. He spoke of battles fought in the shadows, of alliances forged with benevolent aliens, and of the constant vigil maintained by his order to keep humanity safe from cosmic threats. As dawn approached, Chen retreated to his private meditation chamber. Kneeling before a small altar adorned with candles and incense, he closed his eyes and began to center himself. The techniques he had learned over a lifetime of study and practice flowed through him, calming his mind and sharpening his senses. Outside, the first rays of sunlight began to paint the sky in hues of pink and gold. The day of the duel had arrived, and with it, the moment that would determine the fate of humanity. Master Hiroshi Chen, guardian of Earth and its people, prepared to face the greatest challenge of his long and extraordinary life. As he emerged from his chamber, his students gathered around him, their faces etched with concern and determination. Akira stepped forward, offering Chen his katana, a blade that had been in the master's family for generations. "We believe in you, master," Akira said, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. "Whatever happens, know that you have prepared us well. We will carry on your teachings, no matter the outcome." Chen accepted the sword with a nod of gratitude. "Thank you, all of you." Remember, no matter what you see today, the strength of humanity lies not in our ability to conquer, but in our capacity to understand, to adapt, and to grow. These are the qualities that have brought us this far, and they are what will carry us into the stars. With those words, Master Chen began the journey to the temple atop Mount Hikari, his students following behind him. As they ascended the winding path, the alien ship appeared in the sky above them, a silent reminder of the cosmic stakes of the coming duel. At the temple gates, Zarek awaited them, its alien armor gleaming in the morning light. The two warriors faced each other, human and alien, each representing not just themselves, but the hopes and fears of their respective civilizations. "Are you prepared, Master Chen?" Zarek asked, its tri-eyes glowing with an intensity that seemed to pierce through to Chen's very soul. Chen nodded, drawing his katana with a fluid motion that belied his age. "I am ready, Zarek. Let us begin." As the sun crested the horizon, casting long shadows across the ancient temple grounds, the duel that would decide the fate of humanity began. Two warriors, separated by light years and eons of evolution, clashed in a contest that would echo through the annals of both their histories. The cosmic duel had begun, and the universe held its breath. The preparation. The ancient temple atop Mount Hikari stood silent, a stark contrast to the tension that filled the air. As Master Chen and Zarek faced each other, their respective entourages watched with bated breath. The human students of the dojo huddled together, their faces a mixture of awe and apprehension, while a small contingent of alien observers hovered nearby, their ethereal forms shimmering in the morning light. Akira, Chen's most trusted student, stepped forward. "Master," he said, his voice barely above a whisper, "perhaps we should use this time to strategize. Surely there must be some weakness we can exploit." Chen turned to his student, a gentle smile playing on his lips. "Akira, in all our years together, what have I taught you about facing an opponent?" Akira's brow furrowed in concentration. "To observe, to understand, and to adapt," he recited. "Precisely," Chen nodded. "And that is exactly what we shall do now. But first, we must prepare ourselves mentally and spiritually for what lies ahead." As Chen spoke, his mind drifted back to a time long past, a memory he had kept buried for decades. The year was 1965, and a young Hiroshi Chen stood before the hidden entrance to the Temple of the Cosmic Guardians. His heart raced with anticipation and fear as the ancient stone door ground open, revealing a chamber bathed in an otherworldly blue light. "Enter, initiate Chen," a voice echoed from within. "Your training begins now." For the next 7 years, Chen immersed himself in the secret teachings of the Cosmic Guardians. He learned of humanity's true place in the universe, of the countless alien civilizations that populated the galaxy, and of the delicate balance that kept Earth hidden from those who would seek to conquer it. But more than that, he learned to harness the power that lay dormant within all humans, the ability to tap into the very fabric of the cosmos itself. Remember, Hiroshi, his mentor, Master Takeshi, had told him on his final day of training. The greatest strength lies not in the body, but in the unity of mind, body, and spirit. When these three are in perfect harmony, there is nothing in this universe that can stand against you. Chen's reminiscence was interrupted by a commotion among his students. He turned to see them gathered around a small view screen, their faces a mix of wonder and concern. "Master," one of the younger students called out, "you need to see this." On the screen, news reports from around the world flashed by in rapid succession. The alien ship's arrival had not gone unnoticed, and governments across the globe were scrambling to respond. Military forces were being mobilized, scientists were working around the clock to analyze the situation, and civilian populations were in various states of panic or celebration. Chen watched the reports with a heavy heart. He had hoped to keep the true nature of the duel a secret, to spare humanity the fear and uncertainty that came with such knowledge. But it seemed that the cosmic cat was well and truly out of the bag. "Master Chen," Zarek's melodious voice cut through the chaos. "Perhaps it would be beneficial for both of us to observe your world's reaction to our presence. It may provide valuable insight into the nature of humanity." Chen considered the alien's words for a moment before nodding in agreement. "A wise suggestion, Zarek. Let us take this time to learn from one another." As the two warriors settled in to watch the unfolding global reaction, Shen couldn't help but notice the curiosity that gleamed in Zarek's tri-eyes. It seemed that the alien, too, was eager to understand more about the species it had come to judge. Hours passed as Chen and Zarek observed the world's response to the alien arrival. They watched as initial fear gave way to cautious optimism in some regions, while others remained entrenched in suspicion and hostility. Scientists across the globe shared their theories and findings. Religious leaders offered their interpretations of the event, and ordinary citizens took to social media to express their hopes and fears. Throughout it all, Chen found himself impressed by Zarek's genuine interest in human culture. The alien asked thoughtful questions about everything from Earth's diverse ecosystems to the intricacies of human emotion. "Your species is far more complex than our initial observations suggested," Zarek mused. "There is a vibrancy to your cultures that is both chaotic and beautiful." Chen nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. "We are a young species, Zarek, still finding our way. But it is that very youth, that potential for growth and change, that makes us who we are." As the day wore on, Chen's students took turns practicing their forms, each movement a meditation on the task that lay ahead. Akira, ever vigilant, kept a watchful eye on both his master and the alien visitor. In a quiet moment, Akira approached Chen. "Master," he said, his voice low, "I've been thinking about what you told us, about your past with the Cosmic Guardians. Is there anything from those teachings that could help us now?" Chen placed a hand on his student's shoulder. "Akira, the most important lesson I learned from the Guardians is one I've been teaching you all along. The power to change the universe doesn't come from some external force or secret technique. It comes from within." Seeing the confusion on Akira's face, Chen continued, "Think of it this way. Every action we take, every choice we make, ripples out into the cosmos. We may not be able to see the effects immediately, but they are there. The Cosmic Guardians taught me to be aware of these ripples, to understand how my actions could shape not just my own future, but the future of all humanity." Akira's eyes widened with understanding. "So when you face Zarek tomorrow, I will not just be fighting for myself, or even for Earth," Chen finished. "I will be fighting for the very idea of humanity, for our potential to grow and evolve, and take our place among the stars." As night fell over Mount Hikari, the tension in the air grew palpable. Chen's students gathered around him, each seeking a final word of wisdom or encouragement before the fateful duel. "Remember," Chen told them, his voice strong despite the weight of responsibility on his shoulders, "no matter what happens tomorrow, your task remains the same. Continue to learn, to grow, to push the boundaries of what it means to be human. That is how we will prove our worth, not just to the Galactic Confederation, but to ourselves." In the distance, Zarek stood alone, its alien form silhouetted against the star-filled sky. Chen watched as the extraterrestrial warrior performed a series of fluid movements, not unlike the kata practiced in Earth's martial arts. It was a reminder that despite their differences, there were fundamental truths that spanned the cosmos. As Chen prepared for sleep, knowing he would need all his strength for the coming duel, he found himself filled with an unexpected sense of calm. Whatever the outcome of tomorrow's battle, he knew that humanity had already proven itself in ways that perhaps even the Galactic Confederation couldn't fully understand. In the quiet of the night, under the vast canopy of stars that held both promise and peril, Master Hiroshi Chen, last of the Cosmic Guardians, closed his eyes and dreamed of a future where humanity took its place among the celestial wonders of the universe. The stage was set. The pieces were in place. As the first light of dawn approached, Earth held its breath, waiting for the cosmic duel that would determine its fate. The duel. The first rays of sunlight crept over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold. At the ancient temple atop Mount Hikari, two figures stood facing each other, their silhouettes stark against the dawn sky. Master Hiroshi Chen, the last of the cosmic guardians, and Zarek, the alien emissary, were poised to begin the duel that would determine humanity's fate. A gentle breeze rustled through the temple grounds, carrying with it the scent of pine and the weight of anticipation. Chen's students watched from a respectful distance, their faces etched with a mixture of hope and fear. Among the alien contingent, there was an air of clinical detachment, as if they were merely observing a scientific experiment rather than a battle that could reshape the galaxy. Chen closed his eyes for a moment, centering himself. When he opened them, there was a fire burning within that belied his advanced age. "Are you ready, Zarek?" he asked, his voice calm and steady. The alien warrior inclined its head, the lights beneath its skin pulsing with increased intensity. "I am prepared, Master Chen. May this duel be worthy of the annals of both our histories." With a fluidity that spoke of decades of practice, Chen drew his katana. The blade caught the light of the rising sun, seeming to glow with an inner fire. Zarek, in turn, activated its own weapon, a blade of pure energy that hummed with power. For a heartbeat, all was still. Then, as if responding to some unspoken signal, both warriors exploded into action. Chen moved with a speed that seemed impossible for a man of his years, his blade a silver blur as it clashed against Zarek's energy sword. Sparks flew at each contact, a dazzling display of light that left afterimages in the eyes of the onlookers. Zarek, for its part, was a study in alien grace. Its movements were fluid yet precise, each strike calculated to probe Chen's defenses. The alien's tri-eyes glowed with an intense focus, analyzing every nuance of Chen's fighting style. As the duel progressed, it became clear that this was no ordinary battle. Chen's movements began to leave trails of golden light in the air, each swing of his sword seeming to bend the very fabric of reality. Zarek, not to be outdone, began to phase in and out of existence, its form becoming temporarily intangible to avoid Chen's strikes. "Incredible," Akira whispered, his eyes wide with awe. "Is this the true power of the cosmic guardians?" Indeed, Chen was drawing upon skills he had not used in decades. As he fought, memories of his training flooded back. Lessons in manipulating the cosmic energies that flowed through all living things, techniques for bending space and time to his will. Zarek, sensing the shift in the battle, increased the intensity of its attacks. Its energy blade expanded, forming the whip-like extension that lashed out at Chen from multiple angles. But the old master was ready. With a series of precise movements, he deflected each strike, his katana leaving arcs of golden light in its wake. "Your skills are impressive, Master Chen." Zarek's voice resonated in the air. "But do you truly understand what you're fighting for?" Chen didn't respond immediately. Instead, he closed his eyes, reaching out with his senses in a way he hadn't done since his days with the Cosmic Guardians. In that moment, he could feel the life force of every being on the mountain. His students, the alien observers, even the smallest insects in the underbrush. More than that, he could sense the hopes and fears of humanity, a chorus of billions of souls crying out for a future among the stars. When Chen opened his eyes, they glowed with an inner light. "I fight for possibility, Zarek, for the potential that lies within every human heart." With those words, Chen launched into a series of moves that defied conventional physics. He seemed to be in multiple places at once, his blade striking from impossible angles. Zarek, despite its advanced alien physiology, found itself on the defensive for the first time. But the alien warrior was far from defeated. With a burst of energy that sent shockwaves through the temple grounds, Zarek unleashed a barrage of attacks that pushed Chen to his limits. Energy bolts crackled through the air, and the very ground beneath their feet began to warp and shift. The spectators watched in stunned silence as the two combatants took to the air, their battle now raging above the temple. Chen and Zarek clashed again and again, each impact sending ripples of energy across the sky. As the duel reached its zenith, something unexpected happened. A stray energy bolt from Zarek's weapon struck one of the ancient temple pillars, causing it to crumble. A group of Chen's students, who had edged closer to get a better view of the fight, found themselves in the path of the falling debris. Without hesitation, both Chen and Zarek broke off their duel. Chen used his cosmic abilities to slow the falling stones, while Zarek's energy whip lashed out, deflecting the larger pieces away from the students. In that moment of shared purpose, a look passed between the human master and the alien warrior, a look of mutual respect and understanding. As the dust settled, Chen and Zarek descended to the ground, facing each other once more. But the energy of the duel had shifted. There was less hostility now, replaced by a sense of curiosity and cautious optimism. "You risked losing our duel to save your students," Zarek observed, its tri-eyes pulsing with an emotion that seemed almost like admiration. Chen nodded. "As did you, Zarek. Perhaps this duel has shown us both something important." Before either could speak further, a brilliant light engulfed the temple grounds. When it faded, a new figure stood between Chen and Zarek, a being of pure energy, its form constantly shifting and changing. "Enough," the being's voice echoed in their minds. "We have seen what we needed to see." Chen and Zarek exchanged glances, both realizing that the true test had been something entirely different from what they had imagined. As the energy being began to speak, it became clear that the fate of humanity, and perhaps the entire galaxy, was about to take an unexpected turn. The cosmic duel had ended, but the real challenge was just beginning. The revelation. The being of pure energy hovered between Master Chen and Zarek, its form rippling like the surface of the sun. The temple grounds had fallen into an eerie silence, broken only by the soft hum emanating from the entity. Even the birds and insects seemed to have stilled, as if the very fabric of reality was holding its breath. "I am Xanthor," the being's voice resonated in their minds, a symphony of harmonics that bordered on overwhelming. "Overseer of the Galactic Confederation and guardian of the cosmic balance." Chen's students huddled together, their eyes wide with a mixture of awe and fear. Akira stepped forward, placing himself protectively in front of the others, his hand hovering near the hilt of his sword. Zarek's tri-eyes pulsed rapidly, a sign of confusion or perhaps agitation. "Overseer," it said, its usually melodious voice tinged with uncertainty. "I don't understand." "The mission parameters were a test," Xanthor interrupted, its form briefly flaring with increased luminosity. "But not in the way you believed, Zarek, and not just for humanity." Chen, his weathered face a mask of calm curiosity, spoke up. "Then what, may I ask, was the true nature of this test?" Xanthor's form shifted, taking on a more humanoid shape, though still composed of swirling energy. "The galaxy stands on the brink of a crisis, one that threatens not just individual worlds, but the very fabric of space-time itself. We needed to know if humanity, and the Zar-Ekian race, were ready to play their parts in the coming conflict." The revelation hung in the air, heavy with implication. Chen's students murmured among themselves, their voices a mix of excitement and trepidation. Zarek remained silent, its alien features unreadable. "What sort of crisis?" Chen asked, his voice steady despite the weight of the moment. Xanthor's form rippled, and suddenly the temple grounds were filled with a holographic display of the galaxy. Stars and planets whirled by, a dizzying array of cosmic wonders. But amidst the beauty, dark tendrils could be seen creeping through the star systems, consuming everything in their path. "We call them the Void Eaters," Xanthor explained, "a force of entropy and destruction that exists between the dimensions. They seek to unravel the very laws of physics, to reduce all of creation to primordial chaos. The hologram zoomed in on a solar system as it was consumed by the dark tendrils. Planets crumbled, stars imploded, and the very fabric of space seemed to tear apart. Chen's students gasped in horror, while Zarek's metallic skin paled to a ghostly sheen. For millennia, Xanthor continued, the Galactic Confederation has fought to keep the Void Eaters at bay. But our numbers are dwindling, and the enemy grows stronger with each passing cycle. We need new allies, races with the potential to turn the tide of this cosmic war. Chen's mind raced, connecting the dots of his long-forgotten training with the Cosmic Guardians. The techniques I learned, he said softly, the ability to manipulate cosmic energies. It was all in preparation for this, wasn't it? Xanthor nodded, its energy form pulsing with approval. The Cosmic Guardians were our agents on Earth, tasked with preserving and developing humanity's latent abilities. You, Master Chen, are the culmination of that work. Zarek stepped forward, its posture one of determination. And my people, what role do we play in this cosmic drama? Your race, Zarek, possesses technological prowess beyond any the Confederation has seen, Xanthor explained. Your mastery of energy manipulation and quantum engineering could provide us with the weapons we need to combat the Void Eaters effectively. The implications of Xanthor's words settled over the gathered crowd. Humanity and the Zarekian race, two species separated by light years and eons of evolution, now found themselves united by a common threat and a shared destiny. Chen turned to Zarek, extending his hand in a gesture of partnership. It seems, my alien friend, that we have much to learn from each other. Zarek regarded Chen's outstretched hand for a moment before clasping it with its own metallic appendage. Indeed, Master Chen, the duel we fought was but a prelude to the true battle that lies ahead. Xanthor's energy form pulsed with approval. This is precisely what we had hoped to see. Unity in the face of adversity. The ability to set aside differences for the greater good. These are the qualities that will be needed in the war to come. But Acura, ever vigilant, stepped forward with a question. Overseer Xanthor, he said, his voice tinged with skepticism. How can we be sure this isn't some elaborate ruse? A test within a test. Chen placed a calming hand on his student's shoulder, but his eyes remained fixed on Xanthor, awaiting the entity's response. Xanthor's form shimmered, and for a brief moment, the being's true nature was revealed. A consciousness vast beyond comprehension, burdened with the weight of countless galaxies and the responsibility of preserving the cosmic order. Your skepticism is warranted, young one, Xanthor's voice echoed with a hint of sadness. But know this, the threat we face is very real, and time is not on our side. As if to emphasize the point, the holographic display shifted once more, showing the Void Eaters' encroachment on the Milky Way galaxy. The dark tendrils were still distant, but their approach was inexorable. We have perhaps a decade. Xanthor continued, maybe two, before the Void Eaters reach the outer edges of your galaxy. In that time, we must prepare, we must unite, and we must unlock the full potential of both your races. Chen closed his eyes, reaching out with his cosmic senses. He could feel the truth of Xanthor's words, could sense the looming darkness at the edges of his perception. When he opened his eyes, they burned with renewed purpose. I have spent my life in preparation for a moment I never truly understood, Chen said, his voice carrying across the temple grounds. Now that the moment has arrived, I find myself ready to face it. He turned to his students, his gaze filled with determination. The path ahead will not be easy, but it is one we must walk, not just for ourselves, but for all of creation. Zarek, its metallic form gleaming in the morning sun, nodded in agreement. My people will need convincing, but I pledge my full support to this cause. The technology of the Zarekian race will stand as a bulwark against the encroaching void. Xanthor's energy form pulsed with approval. Then let it be so. The alliance of Earth and Zarek will form the cornerstone of our resistance against the Void Eaters. But remember, The challenges ahead will test you in ways you cannot yet imagine. The fate of the cosmos rests in your hands. As Xanthor's form began to fade, dispersing into motes of light that drifted away on the breeze, Chen and Zarek stood side by side, human and alien united by a common purpose. The cosmic duel had ended, but a far greater battle was just beginning. The sun climbed higher in the sky, its light seeming to shine with renewed vigor. On the temple grounds atop Mount Hikari, a new chapter in the history of the universe was about to unfold. Humanity's journey to the stars would not be one of conquest or mere exploration, but a desperate race against time to save all of creation. Master Chen, the last of the cosmic guardians, turned to face his students, his eyes gleaming with the fire of purpose. "Prepare yourselves," he said, his voice carrying the weight of destiny. "Our real training begins now." As the group dispersed, each lost in their own thoughts about the monumental task ahead, Chen and Zarek remained, gazing out over the landscape of Earth, a planet that now stood as one of the last bastions of hope against the encroaching darkness. The cosmic duel had revealed a truth far greater than either had anticipated, and in its wake, a new alliance was born, one that would shape the fate of galaxies. The Alliance. In the days following Xanthor's revelation, the temple atop Mount Hikari became a hive of activity. The once peaceful sanctuary now buzzed with a sense of urgency and purpose as humans and aliens worked side by side, preparing for the cosmic war that loomed on the horizon. Master Chen stood at the center of it all, a calm eye in the storm of preparation. His weathered face bore the signs of sleepless nights and constant meditation, yet his eyes burned with an inner fire that inspired all who saw him. Beside him, Zarek moved with fluid grace, its metallic form a stark contrast to the ancient wood and stone of the temple. "The integration of our quantum field generators with your cosmic energy manipulation techniques is progressing well," Zarek reported, its tri-eyes pulsing with what Chen had come to recognize as excitement. "If our calculations are correct, we may be able to create a barrier that can slow the Void Eater's advance." Chen nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. "Your people's technology is truly remarkable, Zarek. Combined with the ancient wisdom of the Cosmic Guardians, we may yet have a chance." As they spoke, Akira approached, leading a group of students who had been training in the new hybrid fighting style that merged traditional martial arts with alien combat techniques. "Master," Akira said, bowing slightly, "the first batch of initiates is ready for the cosmic attunement ritual." Chen's expression grew serious. "Very well. Prepare the meditation chamber. We must be cautious. Opening one's mind to the cosmic energies can be overwhelming." As Akira hurried off to make the preparations, Chen turned back to Zarek. "Your people have taken to these teachings with remarkable aptitude," he observed. Zarek's skin shimmered, a sign of agreement. "And your students have shown an impressive ability to grasp our technological concepts. It seems Xanthor was right. Our races truly do complement each other." Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of a holographic projection, a secure communication channel to the United Nations Security Council. The face of Secretary General Amara Okafor filled the air, her expression a mixture of concern and hope. "Master Chen, Ambassador Zarek," she greeted them. "I've just finished briefing the Council on the latest developments. The world's governments are, well, they're struggling to come to terms with the magnitude of the threat we face." Chen nodded sympathetically. "It is understandable, Madam Secretary. The concept of Void Eaters and a cosmic war is far removed from our everyday concerns." "Nevertheless," Zarek added, "time is of the essence. My people are already mobilizing our fleets, but we will need Earth's full cooperation if we are to have any hope of success." Secretary General Okafor sighed, the weight of her responsibility evident in her posture. "I understand. I'll do everything in my power to expedite the process. The survival of our species, of all species, depends on it." As the hologram faded, Chen and Zarek exchanged a glance. The challenge of uniting Earth's fractious nations was almost as daunting as the threat of the Void Eaters themselves. "Come," Chen said, gesturing towards the meditation chamber. "Let us oversee the attunement ritual. In times like these, every new cosmic warrior we train could make the difference between victory and oblivion." The meditation chamber was a marvel of human spirituality and alien technology. Ancient mandalas and sacred symbols covered the walls, while holographic displays showed real-time data on cosmic energy fluctuations. In the center, a group of students, both human and Zarikian, sat in a circle, their eyes closed in deep concentration. Chen took his place at the head of the circle, while Zarik stood at the opposite end, its metallic form humming with barely contained energy. Together, they began the ritual, guiding the initiates through the perilous journey of opening their minds to the cosmic forces that permeated the universe. As the ritual progressed, the air in the chamber grew thick with power. Motes of light danced around the participants, and for a brief moment, the veil between dimensions seemed to thin. Chen could sense the vastness of the cosmos, the infinite possibilities that lay before them, and yes, at the edges of perception, the creeping darkness of the Void Eaters. Hours later, as the last of the initiates stumbled out of the chamber, dazed but forever changed by their experience, Chen and Zarik found themselves alone once more. "It is remarkable," Zarik mused, its voice filled with wonder. "In all our travels across the galaxy, we never encountered a species quite like humanity. Your capacity for adaptation, for growth, for pushing beyond your limits, it is truly inspiring." Chen smiled, the compliment warming him despite the gravity of their situation. "And yet, without the knowledge and technology your people bring, we would be defenseless against the coming storm. It is together that we find our strength." As they stepped outside, the sun was setting, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Below in the valley, the lights of the city twinkled to life, a reminder of all they were fighting to protect. "Do you think we can win?" Zarik asked, its usual confidence wavering for a moment. Chen was silent for a long moment, his gaze fixed on the horizon. When he spoke, his voice was filled with a quiet determination. "Victory, in the conventional sense, may not be possible. The Void Eaters are a force of nature, a cosmic inevitability. But that does not mean our fight is in vain." He turned to face his alien friend, his eyes shining with an inner light. "What matters is that we stand against the darkness, that we rage against the dying of the light. In doing so, we affirm all that is good and worthy in our respective civilizations." Zarik's tri-eyes pulsed with understanding. "You speak of legacy." "Indeed," Chen nodded. "Even if we fall, our united stand will echo through the cosmos. It will inspire other races, other alliances, and perhaps in time, that inspiration will be enough to turn the tide." As if in response to his words, a shooting star blazed across the sky, a reminder of the vast, wondrous universe they were fighting to preserve. In that moment, standing atop Mount Hikari with the weight of galaxies on their shoulders, Master Chen and Ambassador Zarik felt a sense of purpose that transcended their individual identities. They were no longer merely human and alien, but custodians of a cosmic legacy, guardians against the encroaching void. The path ahead was fraught with danger and uncertainty. The Void Eaters were coming, their insatiable hunger threatening to unravel the very fabric of reality. But here, in this unlikely alliance between Earth and Zarik, a spark of hope had been kindled. As night fell and stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, Chen and Zarik stood side by side, their resolves hardened, their spirits united. The cosmic duel that had brought them together was but the first step in a journey that would reshape the destiny of galaxies. The true battle was about to begin, and the universe held its breath.